Billy a few exercises to work on at home. The idea with this series is to try to stabilize the lumbar area, to try to teach us to kind of be able to utilize the trunk a little bit more, kind of postural endurance. So try to maintain the pelvis resting on the mat, the ribs resting on the mat, and the head resting on the mat. And we'll start, Billy, with what we call kind of a single leg lift or kind of a femur arc. So imagine you've got a small ball, little tennis ball behind the knee that you're going to hold there behind each knee, so the movement occurs at the hip joint. And what you're trying to do is to begin to move, kind of like you're walking, but moving through the hip joint while you're able to still maintain the pelvis being pretty still, the ribs resting, the head resting. So work that a while. Notice, again, if there's a lot of movement in the hips or if we can keep it pretty steady as we continue. Now the way you would progress it, Billy, if that got really easy and you wanted to try to take it up a notch, you might even try to float both legs up and even just hold for a few breaths. So can you bring the legs up, good hip crease, ribs kind of still maintained on the mat. You want to feel that the abdominals kind of drop down towards the back side of the body versus popping up. Maybe try to hold this for about 3 to 5 breaths, arranging your body with as little tension as possible. And then, Billy, another one we've practiced before is a bent knee opening. So I've got both legs going right now and I'm opening and I'm closing. The idea here first, nice little stretch through the inner thighs, moving in the hip joint. Rest of the trunk is pretty still. But then what you can do is start to go one leg at a time. So you have to try to work against the pelvis moving. And you can even try to up the tempo a little bit. But again, you're trying to move through the hip joint while you're able to keep pretty much the ribs and the pelvis in a good line and pretty steady. Now again, the way that you could progress that is legs coming up and even trying one leg out at a time. So get comfortable with even just the legs being up at 90-90 before you try to progress to movement there. Hope this helps.